Well, hello and welcome to the Profit Express. I'm Tim Healy, and I'm inviting you to join me each and every Wednesday so you can be prepared to win the battle for business. That's right. Now listen, I know you're out there. You're closing deals. You're making money. You're turning prospects into profits. So I got to make it worth your while. That's why I have on the kinds of guests that you can listen, learn, and earn from. Today's guest, no exception. It happens to be me. So hey, as always, thanks for sharing some of your time with me today. And as always, a special thanks to our sponsor, Corbett Public Relations, where they've been promoting and protecting businesses and brands for over 30 years. So do yourself a favor. Visit Bill and his team at CorbettPR.com. That's CorbettPR.com. Welcome aboard, everybody. Now, as a sales performance coach, I, like most other coaches out there, use stories as a great way to train and to inspire and to motivate my clients. And one such story that I like to call the belt story happened while I was doing a ride-along with a client. It goes back probably about 8 or 9 years ago. The client, they're a worldwide manufacturer of polymer coatings. They're here in the U.S. They're in 60 countries around the world. And I was on assignment with one of their salespeople, Kevin, in the Chicago district. And Kevin has a nickname. He's called the Machine. And he earned that nickname because he's absolutely relentless. He's a great sales pro. He's still with the client to this day. And while I was out in the field with Kevin, a rather unique coaching opportunity happened that led me to the belt story. And I told the belt story many, many times in training since. But what happened, like most coaches, you have your repertoire of stories, and some come and go, and some you might not use for a while. And I actually hadn't used the belt story in a number of years. But I was doing one of the monthly sales trainings for this very client, and Kevin, the Machine, happened to be sitting in on this training, and it was a Zoom training. And he actually brought up, he's like, "Hey, Tim, what about the belt story?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Kevin, I completely forgot about the belt story. I haven't shared it in a while." And I'm so glad he brought it up. He kind of brought it to the forefront of my attention. I shared it at that training. I was reminded how much I love the story, and I figured, let me share it with you today. So here is the belt story for your listening entertainment. So while I was in the field with Kevin, it was basically 2 days of he and I going into the field and doing sales calls with prospects and clients of his. And 2 days were packed. We had a lot of great appointments. And it was at the end of the second day, we'd finished up all of our appointments for the day. And we were heading back to the hotel. He was going to drop me off. And I realized that morning that I didn't have a fresh, clean shirt. And I knew I had an early flight out the next day. And I didn't want to have to deal with laundry. And I certainly didn't want to have to fly in a day-old used shirt, I'll tell you that. So after the last appointment, I said, "Hey, Kevin, you know what? Before you drop me at the hotel, can you stop at a local mall? I need to buy like a polo shirt, a golf shirt. I need to get a new, fresh, clean shirt for my flight back tomorrow." So I was like, "Yeah, sure, Tim, no problem." So we drive, and he takes me to this local mall in the Chicago area, and they happen to have a Macy's. And he's like, "Tim, is a Macy's good for you?" I said, "Yeah, that's fine." And if you don't know, Macy's is one of those typical department stores. So he pulls into the parking lot, and he's like, "Tim, I'm going to stay in the car. I still got to make a few phone calls." I said, "No problem." And of course, again, he's the Machine. Every opportunity he gets to make calls, send emails, he's on it. And that's why he's hugely successful. So I don't know why, but as I was about to leave his car to go into Macy's, I said, "Kevin, do you need anything?" He's like, "No." I said, "You sure?" And he kind of looks at me funny because he knew I was going into a Macy's, not like I was going into a coffee shop, right? And I said, "No, really, you don't need anything?" He's like, "Nah, I'm good, Tim." And I persisted. And at that moment, I wasn't exactly sure why I was persisting, but I said, "Really, I can't get you anything while I'm in Macy's?" And I guess I was really kind of having fun, right? And so Kevin, he pauses a moment, kind of smirks. He's like, "You know what, Tim? Yeah, I could use a belt." I said, "Okay. What size are you?" And now he's a little confused. He's smiling. He doesn't know which way I'm going. And he goes, "Oh, stop, Tim." I said, "No, Kevin, come on, tell me, what size are you?" He's like, "I'm a 38. I said, "Okay. What do you like, a brown belt, a black belt, a dress belt?" He's like, "Yeah, black belt would be nice. I could actually use a nice black belt, size 38. I said, "You sure? That's it? Anything else?" He's like, "No." Okay. So he makes his calls. I go into Macy's. I get myself a polo shirt for the flight back the next morning. And as I'm walking in and I'm buying the shirt, again, like I said, this was a situation that evolved. None of this was pre-planned in my mind. As I was asking Kev, what could I get him? And he just happens to say belt. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get him this belt. So I got my shirt, then I went over and I bought him a size 38 men's black dress belt. Got it in the bag, headed back to the car. I get into the car. He was wrapping up a call. And I reach into the bag, and I pull out the black dress belt. And Kevin doesn't know what to make of this. He's like, "Tim, why did you even buy me this belt? What are you doing?" I said, "Kevin," and then it starts to dawn on me, I got a great coaching opportunity here. I said, "Kevin, why do you think I bought you this belt?" And he's like, "I don't know." And he's stumped at this point. He doesn't know what to make of the situation. He's not sure if I'm half crazy. And I said, "So no, Kevin, really, why do you think I bought you this belt?" And he's like, "I'm a nice guy." I said, "Well, yeah, it's true you're a nice guy. But no, that's not why I bought you this belt. Why did I buy you this belt?" And again, he's racking his brain trying to figure out why I bought him this belt. And he's like, "Nice guy. I don't know. Maybe you were impressed with how I did today in the field." I said, "No, you did well, but I'm not buying you the belt because, you had good calls in the field these past 2 days. That's not why I'm buying you the belt." And he's like, "Tim, I have no idea why you bought me the belt." Kev, I bought you the belt because you asked me. And he looks at me a little unsure. And I said, "That's right. You asked me. I made you an offer, and you said, okay, yeah, you know what? I like a belt." You asked for the belt. Think about this, Kevin. Now, again, Kevin is a veteran sales guy, successful guy. Like I said, his nickname is The Machine. He's out there. He's constantly doing activities, constantly putting himself in situations to succeed. He's been with the client for, I think it's about 12 years now. And I said, "You asked Kevin." And I said, so many times in sales, whether you're the rookie or whether you're a veteran, we fall short. We don't ask for the order. We get lazy. We get sloppy. We said, "I'll send a quote. I'll send it in an email. I'll follow up with a call." And we future ourselves. We shoot ourselves in the foot. And that's horrible. Because when you're in front of the prospect, you're in front of the client, they're there, they're live. Ask for the sale. Ask for the sale every time. Ask for the sale multiple times, every time, every day, every opportunity. So I said, "Kevin, this is what I want you to do." And he still wasn't even sure if I wanted him to keep the belt or not. I said, "No, this is a gift from me to you, Kevin." He's like, "Really?" He's like, "Do you want me to pay for it?" I said, "Nope, it's a gift." I said, "I want you to make one promise, Kevin, that you wear this belt every single time you're on a sales call. And what I want you to do, when you're in the car, you're going from the car to their office, to a facility, I want you to just gently tap the buckle of the belt. And the moment you tap that belt buckle, it's going to bring you back to this conversation in this parking lot right now today to remind you to ask for the sale. Each and every time, several times, every time." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, absolutely, Tim. I'll totally do it." I said, "Just promise me you wear the belt every single time. And then just before that sales call, you have a physical gesture that reminds you, I gotta ask for the sale." And as I say in trainings and coachings, if you're not asking for that sale, you failed. You failed because you're making your life so much unnecessarily harder. So to me, again, it was kind of a funny story. I told it many, many times in training, and like a lot of coaches, a lot of trainers, it just kind of got out of my repertoire for a while. And I had that corporate training that Kevin just happened to be sitting in, and he's like, hey, Tim, what about the belt story? I'm like, oh my God, Kevin, I forgot about the belt story. I love the belt story. So I shared it again at that training. Obviously, we had, it was probably, I think, about a month ago, and I'm sharing it with you today. You need to remind yourself. And for me, it just, became a great coaching opportunity that presented itself, just kind of, I guess, on a whim, you could say. So think of a reminder. Maybe it's tapping, listen, if you call me up, you want me to buy you a belt, to buy you a belt, right? But if I don't buy you a belt, do something as a reminder. Tap your own belt buckle. Anything. Click a pen. It doesn't matter. Straighten your shirt. Straighten your coat. Whatever it is. And then let that physical gesture be the reminder. Ask for the damn sale every time, several times. So that, my friends, is the belt story. And Kevin got the belt simply because he asked. And we all know you never get the sale that you don't ask for. So this is the Profit Express. And I invite you each and every Wednesday to be on board for shows just like this. They download every Wednesday. So be on the alert for shows like The Belt Story and other great guests that I have on. And you can follow me and the show on Instagram at The Profit Express, at The Profit Express page on Facebook, Twitter at Profit_Express. And, of course, don't forget the Profit Express page on YouTube. Like us, follow us, etc. And thank you always so much for sharing your time here on The Profit Express. Until next time, let's go out there and continue to win the battle for business.